this is a part of the show where we have a fantastic stand-up come up. I'm hearing you, Herb, yes. Where we have a stand-up come up. And this week is greater than some of the others. This week we do have, all the way from Chicago, James Vickery!
My first time being introduced by God. It's a tough act. I like it. I know there's a little switch here. There's a microphone, okay? Needed as stand-ups. It's really, though, it's for you guys. Makes you feel more comfortable. It's weird right now, right? You know this. Someone on stage doing jokes. Stand-up. They got a microphone. This little wall. Take this down. Look at TED Talk. Look how easy that is. Who here wants to be the best version of themselves? I've never actually watched a TED Talk all the way through. I've read a lot of good headlines. Like, I know titles of TED Talks. Like, you know, there's a TED Talk about such. Yeah, was it good? I have no idea. I don't explore anything on the internet. I get everything in one word. And I think, like our president. It is an interesting time to be here. First of all, I love performing here in Hollywood. Hollywood, California, you know? It's like the one place on earth that lives up to your expectations of it. The glitz and glamour, you know, that you picture as a kid. I'm from Chicago. Like he said, I moved from Chicago a couple years ago. I still spend about half my time there, travel a lot, so it's always a good reminder coming to LA. I almost moved, like when I was like 22, right out of college to LA. And I think about that a lot, like what would my life have been like if I moved to Los Angeles at 22? And by what my life would have been like, I mean, like, which specific drugs would I have a problem with? Like, which quality, what level? I don't know. I give into peer pressure pretty easily, even as a grown man. I was in New Orleans recently. I love New Orleans, by the way. It's like my favorite city. And I really get into the spirit of things when I was there. So I was on Bourbon Street, which, by the way, New Orleans, great city. Bourbon Street, horrible. It makes Hollywood look like an IKEA. It's just like the urine up to your ankle. Just like in the summer, it just smells horrible. But I was on there, a drunken night with a couple of friends, walking down Bourbon Street, and it was late. And all of a sudden, there was people on a balcony above us, like guys and girls, and they had beads they were throwing down, you know. And this one guy makes eye contact with me, and he's like, "Here." And I look up and I go, "What do I have to do?" And he goes, "Just catch them." I was like, "Oh, thank God. Oh my God, Jesus Christ." I don't know what I was willing to do in that moment. A lot. That's the answer. There are no limitations. I don't take real good care of myself sometimes. Does anyone else do this? Like, do you do self-destructive things yourself, thinking that like medical science will figure it out by the time it becomes a problem for you? Like, I do it every day when I listen to music. Like, I get this warning every time I listen to my phone, listen to music, like when I turn up the volume. And it's like, you know, this is going to destroy your hearing. I'm like, bop, 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 bop. Don't care. I'm listening to The Clash right now. By the time it becomes a problem, Apple will have some shit figured out. Like, it'll be cool. Like, is that headphones or earpiece? We don't know. It doesn't matter. Medical science needs to progress pretty quickly for me. Focus on some liver stuff. That's what I fear about the Trump administration. Like, are we going to not progress anymore, like, medically? Because that's about, like, there's a lot of people that don't believe in climate change still, which I think it's silly. Like, you can see it happening. Like, the world's, like, Great Barrier Reef's being destroyed. Like, it's obvious. Right now, the planet right now feels to me like your friend's apartment party that is getting out of control. And like you want to pitch in, but you're in over your head. You don't know what to do. You know, like first part of the night, like you're throwing recyclables away. You know, then it's 2 a.m. You're just leaving like a cupcake on the ground. Sorry, Emily. Sorry. I don't know. Science needs to keep progressing. I think if you're like, they should do a phone poll, like all iPhones. And it's like, do you believe in climate change? Like, do you think the scientific community is right? And if you say no, then like none of your videos play. Like let's teach a lesson about science. Phones are science too, right? I obviously need a lesson. I don't take good care of myself sometimes. Like, and LA will remind you of that too. Like, LA, people really, that is not a cliche, everyone's in like good shape, attractive people. Whatever job you see out here in LA, I realized like that's the most attractive person doing that job. Like, there's the hottest pharmacist I've ever seen, you know? I'm from the south side of Chicago originally. Yeah, not attractive people. It's true. To give you an idea, I'm like kind of cool where I come from. That's. I'm like the Ryan Gosling of Midway Airport. But here, everyone is hot, man. And I, like I said, I make bad choices sometimes. Recently, I got a breakfast burrito because it's the most important meal of the day, So you got to kickstart it with 1,200 calories. And there was, because I got this burrito. It was at a place near my house. I walked there like on a Saturday morning. And it was one of those food items when you get handed it and you're like, this is heavy. Like, this is too heavy to ingest. Like, this is beyond fuel at this point. So I'm thinking about that as I'm walking back with it. And I swear to God, this is like in Larchmont Village, not too far from here. And it's in a paper bag. And all of a sudden, the grease from the burrito like soaked the bottom of the bag too much. And I'm crossing the street at a red light, and it just gave out, and the burrito just fell on the ground like that. Yeah, in front of all these people just looking. It's like 8 a.m. There's people like jogging. I just scooped it up and clutched it in my chest like a baby in a storm, And I just like ran home with it and ate the whole thing. Science will figure it all out. Don't worry. No, I do. Technology is weird, though. It stresses you out sometimes, man. Being in contact with everyone all the time. You ever do this? This happened to me very recently where something cool happened that I wanted to share. So I sent a text message to a bunch of people, like 5, 6 people at the same time. All people that, would respond pretty quickly, and there was nothing. I didn't get anything for a while. I'm like, Jesus, So I, restarted it, took the battery out. Like, there might actually, okay, disconnect from Wi-Fi, something's going on, Did all that, and it's like, nope, it just don't matter. No, I do matter. But seriously, those assholes are dead to me. We rely on it too much for friendship, for getting around. I'm unfamiliar with LA, too, because, rely on maps all the time. Recently, I was, in Santa Monica, kind of far away from where I live, and then, battery was getting real low, and I was in the car, and I was in traffic, and I was like, what's going to happen if this dies? Just start new life in Santa Monica, I guess. I don't know, Seems okay here, close to the ocean. Jealous. I'm actually glad, though, that I grew up in a time, when I was younger, high school, even early 20s, when I didn't have a cell phone. I do think it gives you a little toughness, Having to learn directions. Having to call a girl's house in high school, oh my God, on a landline? Could you imagine the courage that takes? You could tell a kid that now. That girl from school, you're like, yeah, go ahead and give her a call. The way it works is, it could be anyone's cell phone in the house. You know who's gonna answer. Could be your dad. What's that gonna go like? How's the insurance business there, Mr. Flaherty? I had to talk to dads at 14. I couldn't talk to my own dad. Or a strange one. That sounded sadder than I wanted it to be. But it is worse too when girls called you sometimes. This girl I liked, Tracy, one time called my house. My mom answered, and she's like, "Oh, he can't come to the phone right now because he's in the bathroom." I almost choked her with the phone cord when I came. I'm like, just say I'm busy. I don't know. He's been in there 25 minutes. You might just want to leave your number. I'm jealous. Now you Tinder. Come on. I've never got... My wife and I met. We've been married 8 years. Thank you so much. And in LA, that sounds like 8 years of marriage. Sounds like you have 11 kids. We met before social dating apps were a thing, Never got to use it. I'll just say this, okay? This might sound a little braggy. I would kill it on Tinder, okay? I just would. I know it. It's not so much about me. It's just I've seen what's out there. I got a friend of mine who's single, and she was showing me these guys' profiles on Tinder. Showed me this one guy's picture. This is his profile pic. It was him holding a big fish that he caught. That was what he was trying to use to woo woman. I'm like, was the girl supposed to see that and be like, ooh, a provider? I like that. I think my wife knows it too, because we were out hiking recently. We were just here in LA. There's this one part where it got a little steep. So I was like, oh, be careful. I don't want you to fall. And she's like, oh, please, if I fell down there, you'd have Tinder downloaded before the ambulance came. Come on, I can't believe you said that. With no Wi-Fi, could you imagine the data that I would use? Come on. All right, thanks, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the show.